Today we're going to be talking about adding Clover payment hyperlinks to your QuickBooks invoices. This is a great option if you want to avoid payment processing through QuickBooks. So first, what we need to do is actually create a payment link on your Clover dashboard. So the first thing you want to do is log into your Clover dashboard, and we're going to navigate over to the Settings tab, that little gear in the corner, and then we're going to view all settings. Once you get to this point, we're going to scroll down to e-commerce, and we're looking for the link that says payment links. Click here. Here you'll be able to create a variety of things. You can create a button, that's code that you can use to add to your website. You can create a URL, which is what we're going to do today, and you can also create a QR code that your customers can scan to make payments. The button and the QR code are both useful options, but today we're going to be talking about the URL. So this is just a link that your customers can click on and it'll take them to a payment page. This is how we create it. We're going to name it. So I'm going to actually name it just QuickBooks Invoice Payment. You can make it so that the payment amount can be a variable, meaning the customer can choose how much they want to pay, or it can be a preset amount. Most of the time, I recommend doing a variable amount so that the customer can put in whatever amount their invoice is. But if you have a set amount that you're consistently billing out, the preset option may be a good option for you. That's just having a set amount predefined so the customer doesn't add in the amount manually. Once you decide which of these work best for you, make sure you check notification. You want to be able to receive an email when a payment is made. From there, you hit save. Okay, here we have the QuickBooks Invoice Payment. It's a URL. It was created today, and you just want to click copy. Now, this copies the link so that you have it. You can paste it onto your QuickBooks, but for now, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. All right, so this is what it looks like right now. Up here is going to be your business name. Then there's the amount. So whatever their invoice says, they can enter the amount. Okay. We have it required for their first name, their last name, their email, their phone number, street address, all this information. They can select to pay with a credit card or debit card. And if you have the option for ACH, it will also appear here. Okay, so here under additional information, we can require that they have to add an invoice number. This is a great option for your accounting. It just helps you keep track. So obviously they're going to have their name up here, but requiring them to type in the invoice number really helps you make sure you're putting the right payment with the right invoice when you reconcile at the end of the day. So in order to do that, you're going to come back to your Clover dashboard. You're going to go to settings, view all settings, and we're going to scroll down to custom fields. Now, depending on what type of software plan you're on with Clover, you may only be allowed to create one custom field at a time. If you need more custom fields, you'll need to upgrade your software plan. But I'm going to show you how to do this. So to add a field, you're going to just type in what it's named. So for this, I'm going to call it invoice number. Okay. And then we want to select what type of field this is. Text, numeric, there's several options here. I usually just like to do text. Then they can type in their number, they can type in whatever they'd like. Okay, so we're going to hit save. Now that we've created this custom field, we need to make sure that it is enabled and required when a customer goes to pay on the payment link. So we're going to go back to our settings gear, view all settings, and we're going to scroll down to hosted checkout under e-commerce. This is where you can customize what this link looks like. So see how up here it'll have your business name. It's green. You can change it to whatever you'd like. You can add footer details if you want it to say something at the bottom. These are basic customer details that are automatically populated. You can choose which are required and which are even enabled at all. I usually recommend gathering as much information, as much relevant information as possible. This just helps protect you from fraud. Okay, down here, we're going to get to custom fields. We want to enable our invoice number custom field that we created, and we want to set it as required so that when a customer makes a payment through their payment link on your QuickBooks invoice, they are required to put their invoice number. Okay, this is just optional. You don't have to do it. I just recommend it because, like I said, it's another way to cross-reference and make sure the correct payment is being reconciled with the correct customer. You can also allow customers to add a note. Notes will always be optional. So if you want them to optionally be able to add the invoice number, you can do that here. I just like to set it as required. Make sure you scroll down and hit save. Now this payment link has been updated and it will require this information, the invoice number. Okay. All right. So now what we want to do is go to QuickBooks, and this is where the fun starts. This is where we're actually going to add this link, this payment link, to your QuickBooks invoice. Now there are two ways to do this, and I recommend doing both. So I'm going to show you how to do both. The first is we are going to actually add a hyperlink into the message that is attached to the invoice. So what you want to do is go to the gear icon, and you want to go over to your company and then select account and settings. From here, you want to click on the sales tab on the left. Okay, now that we've hit the sales, we want to keep scrolling down until we get to messages. And then we want to click on this little pencil on the right side. This is going to allow us to edit it. Okay, you can have the default message be dear, whatever, all of this. But right here is where we really want to make sure we add this payment link. So your invoice is attached. Please remit payment. This is just, what's been added before. You can customize this however you want. I'm going to have it say, please click the link below to pay your invoice. Be sure to include your invoice number. Then I'm going to paste the link. And then it's got the rest. I can say, thank you much for your business. Okay. All right. Now I'm just going to hit save. And now that's been added. So when you send the invoice, that message is going to appear. Okay. You need to make sure that it's the full link. If you just put, so when you're doing this, if it doesn't have the HTTPS, all this at the beginning, it's not going to work. So make sure you have the full link in there. I don't know why QuickBooks does that, but if it doesn't have the HTTP or the HTTPS, it will not work. Okay. So now that we're done with that, we're going to talk about the other way you can add a payment link. So we're going to head back over to this gear icon. The gear icons are like our favorite. And from here, we're going to go to custom form styles. All right. So right here, custom form styles. Here you'll have all your templates that you've ever made. I just have the one. We're going to go ahead and click edit under the action column. And then we're going to go to content. All right. Now, here we've got all this information, and we can add our website, our payment website, under the website field. Okay. Now, you can see all this information here, and you see this website. We're going to go ahead and add. We want to enable the website. We're going to add our payment link. Okay. Now this is there. They're going to be able to pay and click on that payment link. It's just another way you can have your payment link available to your customers. Okay. Another way you can do this is by going to the footer, and you can say, you can add a message to the footer. So I said, thank you so much for your business. Please click the link below to pay your invoice. And then I'm just going to simply add the link there. Once you start using Clover payment links to accept your payments for your QuickBooks invoices, it's important to remember to reconcile at the end of every day. In order to see what payments you've received, go to your Clover dashboard, navigate to the sales activity. You want to go to online payments. This will show all the payments made via your Clover payment link. If you scroll down, you can see the payments made, and you can use whatever information you'd like in order to match up the payment to the invoice. So here I have Kathy. She paid $75. I know I have an outstanding invoice from a Kathy for $75. So I'm going to go ahead and receive payment. In the reference, you can choose to put Clover payment link or whatever you want in order to reference that you collected the payment on Clover. And then you're just going to hit record and close. And that reconciles your books. Using Clover payment links to collect payment for your QuickBooks invoices is a great way to use the benefits of two great systems, QuickBooks and Clover.